Okay, so as we mentioned, cases of decolonization, the wars of national liberation, and occupation are part of the international armed conflict, and these important matters were developed by adding some rules included within a new treaty called the First Additional Protocol to the Geneva Conventions. The cases of non-international armed conflict, new developed and modern rules regarding this case of non-international armed conflict or the civil wars were also included within the second additional protocol. So these two additional protocols, one of them is relating the non-international armed conflict, which is the second one, while the first one is about the cases of the international armed conflicts. Anyway, the four Geneva Conventions, they included some rules regarding the restriction, and actually these rules are not sufficient. So the protection side of IHL is represented by the four Geneva Conventions. However, the restriction side, which says that the belligerents are not free to use whatever they want of weapons and armaments, they are not free to use whatever they want, and they are restricted. This is about this restriction side of the IHL, which is represented by the most modern one of the treaties regarding this situation or this case, which is in 1907. I mean the Hague Regulations. The Hague Regulations, it contains a lot of rules regarding the restriction, but they did not change since that date, and they are not modern enough, and they are not sufficient to treat the new situations and to treat the new developments in cases regarding the armaments, and also regarding the weapons and means and methods of the warfare. So there was a need for new developments in this side, I mean the restriction side of IHL, and this development was evolved when the two additional protocols were adopted in 1977. So this is why additional protocols are found and existed. 2005 actually, there was a third protocol which is additional to the same Geneva Conventions, and the third protocol was adopted. So what is about this third protocol? We always hear about the two additional protocols, but what about the third one? This an instrument actually. It recognizes an additional emblem. The emblem هي الشارة يعني الانsignia, which we use in order to define that this place is protected under IHL, so that any soldier could not like attack this place since it's protected under IHL, and it is illegitimate target. So we cannot target this place since it is protected, and the evidence is that it is protected is that it has the emblem, it raises the emblem which defines this place as a protected object or protected person, whatever. So the new protocol, the additional protocol number 3, it recognizes an additional emblem, and this emblem is it takes the shape of a red flame or a red frame, where in the shape of a square on edge اللي احنا بنسميه المعين. It is here. So this is a new emblem. Actually there was emblems before this emblem was adopted in the third edition protocol. The red cross, the red crescent. So these are two definitive and protective emblems that we used to use. But after that, in 2005, they adopted a new kind of emblems, which is the red frame, which is like actually a square on edge. So this is called also in international law and in the same treaty the red crystal emblem. It's made that we add another emblems in the middle of this red crystal, so that to give more and more protection and more definition for these places and for these persons. To add more protection, we can put a new or another emblems in the middle of the new red crystal emblem. Okay, the additional emblem is not intended to replace the red cross or even the red crescent, but they want to provide a further option. So some people, because they are of an Islamic origin, they will refuse to use the red crescent for religious reasons. However, those who are Christians will never resort to the red crescent, since it represents the Islamic word. So they have kind of clashed between each other, so they do not want to use such emblems. So what is the option that they can resort to? They can resort to a new option, which is the red crystal emblem. Anyway, the shape and the name of this additional emblem were arrived at after a long selection process, and the goal of which was to create an emblem free of any political and religious, and it's highlighted here with the red because actually, as we mentioned here, the emblem regarding the crescent represents an Islamic state. However, the red cross, it represents the Christian states or the Christian nations or any other connotation, and that could be used throughout the word. The common article 3, it is an article that is implied within the 4 Geneva Convention. It had the same wording in the 4 Geneva Conventions. It is regarding the cases of the non-international armed conflict which occurs on the territory of one of the high contracting parties. So the two rival parties here, they are bound to apply the minimum of the following provisions. So persons they took who take no effective part in the hostilities, including members of the armed forces who have laid down their arms, who are hors de combat, that they are no longer able to fight because of sickness, wounds, detention, or any other cause. These people shall be protected, and they shall be treated humanely without any adverse distinction found on race, color, religion, or faith, sex, birth, or even health, or any other criteria of a similar character. So this rule shall be applied in cases of the non-international armed conflicts. To this end, the following acts are and shall remain prohibited at any time and any place whatsoever with respect to the above mentioned persons. So acts of violence, act of taking hostages. Actually, taking of hostages represents a crime of war according to the Rome Statute. The outrages upon their personal dignity, the degrading treatment, or any other kind of these prohibited things mustn't be conducted during the non-international armed conflicts. I wish you all the best, my students, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you are notified when new videos of mine are uploaded. Thank you very much, and wishing you all the best and goodbye, and thank you for your patience.